Good afternoon, family. Well, it's evening time, to be honest. I hope everyone has had a beautiful and blessed day. Guys, my Vlogmas day 2 is going to be story time. Okay. I told you guys we had COVID. And I ain't trying to keep bringing this subject up or anything like that. And I told you my mom was hospitalized for it. Okay, so yesterday she was released from the hospital. And guys, I can't make this ish up. I can't make this up. Okay, so me and my husband, we go to the hospital. We get there and we thinking we gonna pick up my mom. So I had her clothes all packed up that I was gonna get her dressed and, get her ready and bring her home. So when we get there, they had a door closed or whatever, and it had a sign on there saying "Do not enter" or whatever. So the nurse came to the door. We knocked on it or whatever. She came to the door, and so they was like, "Oh, it'll be a minute" or whatever like that. And so she left out, but it was another nurse still in the room. So we thought that was kind of strange. But this is before we discovered the note, the little padding thing that had a note on it, okay? So then we look, and then my husband read the note or whatever. And he said, "Oh, we can't go in because I guess she was being quarantined because she had COVID." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "But she COVID free now." I said, "And we get ready to take her home." So they said, "Oh, we'll get her dressed or whatever like that." So we said, "Okay." So we waiting. So we had been waiting right there for a moment, and then so another nurse came out. The other nurse that came out went back in. So we was like, "Well, do y'all want her clothes or whatever?" I had bought her clothes or whatever, and her oxygen tank and her coat. So they was like, "Okay, we'll take it." So the lady took the bag with her clothes in it or whatever, and then she finally got the coat, and finally she took the oxygen tank. And so me and my husband decided to go around to the little waiting area so we wouldn't be just sitting there or whatever. So time went by, and we was wondering, like, I wonder if they ready. So we rolled back around there, because mind you, he bought her wheelchair. So we wouldn't have to sit and wait a long time for the hospital to find her wheelchair. You go figure. They have a shortage of wheelchairs. They need to get together. But anyway, so he bought her wheelchair. And so he wheeled me around in her wheelchair so it'll be faster on him. Because mind you, I had upper respiratory as well and congestive heart failure, so I get short-winded, especially now since I'm getting over the COVID. So I'm in the wheelchair, and so they was like, "Well, you guys don't have to keep waiting. Where are you guys parked?" And we was like, "In the garage." And so they say, "Well, you could go ahead and wheel around to the front of the hospital and we'll bring her down." And so we was like, "Okay," so we went on and we complied, So then it's taking a while for them to bring her. Then they finally called and said that the oxygen tank that we had bought, it was out of oxygen. Did we have a spare? And so we say, yes, we have a spare in the car. So they said, okay. So what they did was hooked up to their portable oxygen tank, and then we switched out or whatever. But here's the hot. Finally, they bring my mom to the car. They brought her the portable oxygen and her oxygen tank, right? Mind you, because he got to switch out the oxygen. Why they didn't bring no discharge papers? They didn't bring her clothes. She came into the hospital, nor did they have her wallet with all her identification in it. They didn't have her hair comb brush that I had just bought and her hairspray for her hair. None of that. They had none of her belongings. And so we talking and we trying to understand what they saying or whatever like that. And then it dawned on me before we pulled off. I was like, baby, they didn't give us no discharge papers. They didn't give us no her belongings or anything. They didn't give us nothing. They just got her out the hospital. They was like, it's time for you to go. You getting out of here. It's Friday night. We trying to get things rolling. Wow. Go figure. That ain't even it. So I called. I said, ma'am, my mom was just discharged or whatever. And you guys never gave discharge papers. You didn't even bring down her belongings she came in with. And she has a fall alert bracelet. She was like, well, the lady took my fall alert bracelet and put it back around my neck. I said, well, shouldn't your belongings be in there? Mind you, my mom is blind. So therefore, she can't see what's going on. She just have to go off their word. And so the nurse came back down. She was like, oh, there's nothing in the room or whatever. We didn't find anything in the room or whatever. I said, ma'am, I sent her with her identification. I described it, her little wallet that we keeps it in or whatever like that. And I said, nor did they even bring the clothes that she had on when she came in the hospital. Because mind you, we couldn't go up there. Okay, so she said, oh, we didn't see any of that. I looked, and then she got on the phone and she called the other nurse and she was like, you didn't see anything in her, did you? Why are you guiding her through the conversation? Can't this woman answer on her own if she looked? Oh, I didn't see anything. No, I didn't see anything. So I said, ma'am, I cannot leave here without my mom's identification or anything. I said, do you know how much of a hassle that's going to be to try to track down her, all the things that she had in her wallet? Well, did she have any money? I don't even care about any money that was in her wallet if it was money in her wallet. I'm caring about her identification, her insurance card, all her belongings. That just don't make sense to me. So she sent us around to the emergency room to talk to security. And sometimes this is what she told us. Sometimes they leave their belongings or identification with security if it's been lost and someone found it or whatever the case may be. I said, really? I said, okay. We went around to emergency room. My husband ran in there and he talked to the security guard. He gave him a number and told him to call it, and she told us usually, well, no, that's what the security guard told him. Usually when the patient then checked out, if they found it, they'll call and let you know that they found the wallet. And usually don't happen until after they leave. Okay, so we went on. We was really upset or whatever like that, right? Because mind you, we like, this is a life. You know how it is, guys. And she's 77 years old, so she don't get around like she used to. So it's hard transporting her here, there. You get the point. You get it, right? Okay. So we're leaving St. Louis, Missouri. We live in Illinois. We get a block from our home. And what? The nurse called. And how I know? Because I programmed the number into the phone. When I couldn't track my mom down for calling her room, I would contact the nurse to at least get an update on her so that I could let my mom rest. So I had the nurse number stored in my phone. So phone ring. She called. She said, okay, Miss McKinney, we found your mom's belongings or whatever. Did you want to come and get it or whatever? I said, ma'am, I'm a block from my house. She said, well, I tell you what, take this number down. I said, ma'am, if this the number you finna give me that's program, I got program in my phone, I already have it. I said, but I can call you soon as I make it. I'm like a block from the house. I will call you soon as I make it in my home, and I'll get the number from you, okay? And she said, okay, no problem, or whatever, and just call, and we'll we'll get her belongings to her. We'll bring it down or whatever. But I told her I couldn't come back, turn her back around back to last night. I will come in the morning to get it, right? Okay, gets there this morning. And I did as follows. I called the number, and then I talked to someone. They said, okay, I said, we're in front of the hospital. And mind you, it's a pharmacy that's connected to the hospital. So they had already called in a prescription for my mom, which I couldn't pick up because she didn't have her identification. And so, I called the hospital. I let them know I'm out in front of the hospital. Okay, we'll send somebody down. 10 minutes roll by. 15 minutes roll by. 20 minutes roll by. 25 minutes. And I do understand. Short staff, being overworked and underpaid. I understand all of that. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to go through that. But don't have nobody waiting. They telling you they in front of the hospital. My husband say, don't tell me I'm going to have to go in here and go find this stuff on my own. And he said, I'm going to bypass security. He making a joke of it. But, he a male. You know how men get. I say, look, baby, don't do nothing that they going to end up. I'm going to be looking out my one good eye and you seeing you going to jail because I don't have time for all this stuff. They talking about this man that bypassed security and went up the stairs and looked for a wallet. So, no, he stopped at security, guys. He just was making a joke of it. And so, the security officer at the desk let him go upstairs to the 8th floor. Mind you, she had already been discharged for it. And so they finally gave him the stuff. So he was kind of taking a long time. So finally I called again and she said, well, ma'am, we just handed it off to someone that just came up here and picked it up. I said, okay. So I knew it was just a matter of time because, mind you, he got to stop by the pharmacy and pick up her medication. So after a whole hour of fooling with the hospital this morning, we end up getting all her belongings or whatever and bringing it back home for her or whatever like that. And you can look through the wallet. You can see the wallet had been rambled through. So I don't even know what was the deal. Were you deciding that you was going to keep her wallet? Keep her information? I don't know. Maybe they had to ramble through it to see, because I keep her identification right there. As soon as you open up the wallet, it open up like a fan. So you see our identification first thing when it opens up. But slots was missing. I'm like, y'all too much. This is ridiculous. So guys, this was my story time for Vlogmas Day 2. So as always, in the meantime and between time, I hope everybody have a blessed and wonderful day. I'm just not waking up from a nap, guys, because this was exhausting for me. But I want you guys to have a good night and be blessed. And in the meantime and between time, you have a good night. Peace. And as always, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe and turn on that post notification bell. Thank you.